Obviously, do you think you could use that to spray over your composting rows to help activate them?
Oh yeah.
What I'm just roughly trying to work out is how, for the dry matter, how much water is it?
Just down where that, look at those combines, there's a big waste busters at the local refuse centre. They've got a big composting process there, like mountains of compost.
If you've got a ton of wet grass,
something that might go into the brew to activate the mix, so to speak.
I'll tell you a quick story about compost. In England, for 1,000 years and more, they had this thing that all farmers would come in the morning and through London and pick up all the rubbish, take it out to Westminster and compost it in these long piles shaped like that. And they'd add the new compost to one end and they'd take the done compost off the other. And there's a compost master who would say, okay, overnight it's gone to here. And the farmers would then take that away and put that on their soil. But it all had to be absolutely composted. Now the English always felt themselves terribly superior to the French, who they referred to as the wormy French. This is in Chaucer, which I've read in the original. The wormy French didn't know how to compost. So, all the human excrement, everything, caused them to be wormy. They were constantly infested with intestinal worms. There was even a worm that would crawl around under the skin and it would come out the eyesight. Right? And it was all pretty dramatic stuff, but that was the wormy French, as opposed to the very healthy English, who were always much healthier, because they didn't have this thing, and they all put it down to the composting regime. Now, in Ireland they did the same, and then some bright spark in about 1850 said, let's not compost it so far. And they didn't, and they put it on the potato patches, and they got potato blight within weeks, and that caused the whole potato blight and starvation. They changed the composting regime. Now, a biodynamic farm composts right through, and that's the difference between an organic farm and a biodynamic farm. It will compost right through, and that means that there is no water-soluble fertiliser or anything put on the soil on a biodynamic farm. So the humus layer just develops and develops and develops until if a BD farm gets one good rain in Australia at the beginning of summer, he's got enough water in his soil for the whole season. He doesn't need to irrigate.
It's got enough organic matter to hold on to the moisture.
That's right. It's humus, really good humus, is like a jelly in the soil, and it'll. I mean, we've got farms in BD farms in Queensland that if it rains in early in the season, their creeks will still be running 3 or 4 months later, whereas all the farms around them dry as a chip. So what do the other farmers say? They've stolen my water. Aren't they lucky with their soil? Of course, their biodynamic can't work because there's not a scientific explanation. There is, but it's not one they teach at universities.
Oh, we're out in the country now. Where are we heading to?
You're not far from Lake Hood either.
Somewhere. Oh, into
Control farm.
control farm. What sort of trees are those hedges? Just
It's poplar, wasn't it? It's actually
poplar.
shelter belt. Yeah.
And this is a different sort of tree.
That's English hedgerow they used to have, but they don't have them anymore.
What's that? Conifer, isn't it?
Conifer. My 5 acres, I need a hedge like those.
You do. I'll just give you an idea some trial plots like where it goes on. These are all small fresh grow outs. Yep. And every little stop's got a stop signature for an Asian customer. We do a grow out on it to make sure there's no problems compared with commercial fields.
Yeah.
They'll all be terminated in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
these are all replicated grass seed plots, so
Mhm.
individual plots, and that's how we'd attack a hemp trialist, have a plot of each one.
Hamish had one when he did his first hemp crop as his final year thesis. He had beds, size of beds, 96 I think it was, replicated beds like this.
This one's here for dry matter yield, that one's for seed yield. Well, that's how we attack the hemp trials, and
Yeah.
decided which varieties to use for seed and follow.
That's wonderful. That'll be just great if we can do that with all the different varieties that Hamish has got.
Well, that's what to do. No, once you
And they're more popular, are they? This one? There's
It's
something
a gum. Is that a gum?
Oh, it looks like a gum.
Yeah.
It's a gum tree growing as a hedge. Okay.
I was involved with a tree. The thing I was doing my trials and work on was a thing called Hybrid Australis, which was a hybrid of a poplar and a willow. And it grew to telegraph post size in 10 years. Fence post size in 4 years.
This is all carrot work, which is quite apart from the dills there. You look down the rows there, they're all different varieties of carrots.
Yep.
And James is here measuring pollen, its yield and its viability and all that. So each hybrid will have different yields of pollen available for different periods of time.
Yep.
We've got to do this sort of background work to make sure that we've got male and female flowering at the same time.
Yep.
James, good. Hey, out of a tonne of grass seed, so a 40 tonne hemp crop when it's flowering would be, if there's, it would be about 30 tonne of water.
Yeah, it would be sort of if it was in a wet stage like this.
Yeah.
It'd be sort of 80 to 90%.
See it. And that used to own that big seed cleaning store there.
Right.
You selling McDonald's, don't you?
Because obviously now it's all this.
No, that's his own front for cutting.
So that's his header workshop.
Now the other thing too is that, just let me get my head around it, if we put it through the machine and then we baled it like a silage wrap, would that hold all its goodness in there? It wouldn't dry too much into a silage wrap, you think?
If we're going to hold it damp,
Yeah.
if we can hold it airtight, then
Well, that's like salt.
yeah,
like
that's
a
right.
It's like a big Glen wrap roll.
Yeah.
Continue.
What time have we been there? 1 o'clock?
1:15. Oh no, Roger's not going to get his tourist.
Tourist place.
Yeah, that's Duncan said, is there a
Tourist
possibility
buses.
you can leave it at Hilton Launch?
Oh, I see.
Video of the D7
Yeah, well,
Selling them on the local produce.
yeah, there's some silage wrap just back there. Just, yeah. You see some on the side of the road.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
low
what
feeds.
happened. We got sold to Malaysia for dry chickens. He's expensive money, yeah.
Well, this is going to be his main offices here.
Well, of course, he hasn't got an office near his sold everything, has he?
No.
So that's where Noddy will be.
Noddy?
Craig.
Oh. What do you mean the other Noddy?
I wonder what he does use for drawing the company. There used to be a great big long tunnel there, about 100 foot long. He used to just tunnel all the way through.
Nice Burton, nice Burton sign, whatever it takes.
It's been a bit of stick over that.
It's a much bigger town than I thought it was.
What's that?
Saying the town's a much bigger town than I thought it was.
You'd be surprised actually in Ashburton you go that way, it's actually probably wider than it is long.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Land must be cheap.
Oh, it's gone up a lot.
It's gone up,
You've
yeah.
seen
Have you got a land tax or
No.
a capital gains tax?
No, neither.
Capital gains tax would be the single most, the worst element in our land price.
It's sort of like a stamp duty, isn't it?
Rail bridge. No trains.
So if you're doing property development or investment in Australia, you're damned if you keep the property and you're damned if you sell it.
Oh, it's a train there. My goodness gracious.
Well, I've shifted London, I've shifted from Nelson down here.
Well, I hope we can make some progress for you with Greg this afternoon, Adrian.
Huh?
I hope we can make some progress with Greg Carr this afternoon.
Oh yeah. I think
Because you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for a combine,
yeah.
where the part that we're talking probably you're looking at 100,000, aren't we?
I doubt that it'd be that much.
Or,
How wide does it?
well, it would depend on how much through you want to put.
It's not so much with the header. You're getting a smaller header, you start to lose straw capacity, don't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you want quick straw.
I think the one we built in England was a metre wide.
Well, I'm sort of thinking maybe 3, 4 metres.
I'd agree with you. 3, I said 12.
3 metres, you don't need to take it off to drive down the roads type thing, and it's sort of a thing that you put on at the start of the season, and if you want to buy a new harvester, the person who ever buys a new harvester, you can take it off and go conventional again, isn't it?
Come to see another hemp crop. Cover off. Come to see another hemp crop over here. Just been put in a few days ago, I'd say. Well, about a week ago.
Because the germ was about 40%.
Oh well, that'll be right. Yeah. Yeah, that's worked out
When was this put in, Adrian?
I think it was about
So it's about 3 weeks it's down. Okay. It's alright. About a month.
4 weeks now, Tony, I'd say.
Yeah.
a bit slower than usual to start, but they're working.
I'd imagine in 10 days' time this will be that high.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Mackenzie's is bloody...
Is it?
Yeah, isn't it? That stuff we saw yesterday, yeah, wasn't it? Irrigated?
This.
isn't it? No irrigation.
Yeah.
No. It is?
Yeah.
Flood irrigating it, yeah. Flood irrigating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
We've never seen that successful in Australia, not even traditionally.
Really?
Usually wash the seeds away.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll have to get it up a wee bit before we
We've always thought flood irrigation first. You've got to wait till it's up about a foot before you do
Yeah,
it.
what we did is watered it beforehand and got plenty of moisture there.
Where's it go? Right across to the tree line? Or? Well, that's quite a lot.
In Geelong, there's 50,000 hectares of sewerage farm
Yeah.
land. It's all like this. And they wanted us to grow hemp there, but they would only flood irrigate.
Yeah.
And we said we'd do it if we could get it so that it was up before they actually flooded it. And the government at the time, all whatever we wanted, when we had a change of government, the government was saying,
Few New Zealand sheep.
you never see that many on the field outside in Surrey.
That's probably quite lightly stocked too, by the look of it.
And that hedge isn't cut. And that one is cut.
We could not grow the food for them in that size. You see that in England, eh?
This wrap- Oh, I see.
Continuously,
It's stretched as it goes over, so
Yeah.
it sort of pulls tight and goes airtight pretty much.
Oh, I see.
We actually take it.
Shrink wrap for hemp.
Whether it's
Oh.
in even just a round bale form, shrink wrap and transport it somewhere for processing.
Easy as well.
You can smell it, can't you? You can smell that sweet sort of...
be a highway in Australia with trees along it like this. Except in the forests. There aren't many of those.
Yeah, they were trying down Geelong, and there's a bushfire.
Yes, well we do get helped by bushfires, Adrian. But we do insist on planting Australian natives as well. So of course they're going to get wiped out.
It's politically correct in Australia now to rip out anything that's not a native. And of course the beautiful oaks and beach. My argument is, well, native from where? Because there were oaks and beach and all those fantastic things all across Australia until the Aborigines came and burnt them down. So they could hunt their game better. So where do you draw the line as to what's native and what's not?
Well, that'd be the closest one to the hotel, Adrian.
Yeah.
We're at the motel and we're just having a look at these two things. We've got the polar bear and the Egyptian buildings. Just a little thing sitting there. Adrian's going to take a shot too.
Very interesting.
Round the back way.
You been over there?
Yes, well, my family. I have family, quite a few family members over. That'll get the blood going through the body pretty quickly.
Yeah. I was in Tuscany and it was very hot. Just hot all the time.
Yeah.
40 degrees in the day and 35 at night. Just far too good to bear.
That's that clock I saw a painting of in your place.
What I might do is just... Is it okay to drop you off here?
Yeah, that'll be
This is
fine.
pretty much the start of the CBD. Just here.
So we go that way, do we?
Straight down. There's a couple of streets that...
1074 here in Ashburton. Ashburton Arcade, we'll have a look at in a sec. No, we'll have the bookshop. Arcade now. It is a nice little arcade. The street that we've come down. Oh, I should too. Willie Munches, Ashburton, Showgrounds 14th to 10th, 2006. We might look at buyers and sellers, see what that is down there.
Yep.
Oh, and there's a park down there. Like another. We're going down Dobson Street past KFC and down to the next street and back again. Helmut Building, Ideal Electrical. We're in some yard of tractors and things. Looks like a decorticator to me, Adrian. That's all the add-on. And that just picks stuff up and puts it straight in somewhere.
So we've got this space in here,
Oh yeah.
so we could run it up in into there, and it will fall down then onto down there and go in.
Well, I see. It goes into something.
Yeah. Then all this separates.
And it pops out the back.
Under here. See those in there, they're straw walkers.
Ah, they're straw walkers.
Every one of those moves like that.
Okay.
And it brings up the straw.
I can film those.
Can you?
Yeah, just pick up and fix it. Just picking that up.
Okay, well you see everything would separate. And that all shakes.
Yeah.
Separates and the herd would fall through.
Oh, this is a pretty ideal machine for you.
Yeah. So that's the sort of thing we use. This is smaller than the ones we used anyway, but
Alright.
elevator.
Herd will go up the elevator.
Big tank there and the motor's there.
Yeah.
So there's all of that space under there. At the end there we could have a continuous wrapper
Mm.
that just continues to wrap the fibre as it comes out. So come and film this. And between that space and here somewhere we can put our thing. As it takes it into that level, put our decorticator. We can even put our decorticator right in the front. A pair of rollers right
Yeah.
there.
It
Decorticator
cuts it at the bottom and then drags it in by its feet.
Yeah.
By the bottom section.
Yeah, well look, that's another machine that hangs out the front here.
Yeah.
It's a front.
Oh, I see.
Could be one of those. You see
Yeah.
how they're designed. Bring it over here. See how they're designed to consolidate it in.
Oh, is that what they... Oh, I see.
But this one actually does it from the top with wheat.
Yeah.
But they have those sorts of things. The Draper front has the big, it has a flat conveyor belt, one that's going each end that brings it in. But as long as you've got something that brings it in at the base, and that's of course too big for what we want. But you get an idea of the size of these things. And it would not be too heavy to have our decorticator here.
Mm.
You have your front end, which would be probably a 2 metre wide, bring it into a metre. Now that's about the size of the D8 that we've already built. So
It's very similar.
to protect the further in. Dealing with what do they call it? Kinesis.
Yeah.
Kinesis used to be RONS.
Oh, okay.
RONS was the Wool Research Organisation of New Zealand. WRONZ.
Oh, rods. Okay.
It was like our
Course and
possums
things?
here possums were brought here from Australia,
I know, there are millions of them and they've got
and they harvest them.
they have possum stew and all sorts of things. Mm. New machinery.
So this one's considerably wider.
The front and it just drags everything up.
Yeah, but this one drags it up from the top,
Oh, okay.
which is different from that.
Oh, look, looks like it runs along the bottom and cuts it, don't you?
Yeah, that's what we had.
Oh, okay.
That's a sickle bar mower, and we always had.
Oh, I
That's
see.
a combine, and that's one of the problems we have with it. So you filmed the whole thing?
Yeah.
Because this size, I mean, look at this. How this one works down the bottom. Maybe it could be right there.
Just.
You got the sound on?
Yeah.
Yeah, add the quarter coat can be right there. And it sends it up there where it gets sorted.
These are straw walkers in here.
And we can have another squeeze roller set right here,
Mm-hmm.
just to squeeze the thing again, give it another dry. So that's the straw walker up the top, this is the grain sieve. So
Oh,
the straw walker's taking it. See how this works?
Yeah.
That's the straw walker. So they
Rotate. Yeah.
rotate on a cam and they drop the straw up into there, which bales it.
Oh, okay.
Right, so we would have our fibre going up there, our herd would be there, so we'd have to put the roller set up there,
Right.
or have these a bit shorter, and then the fibre goes then into something that rolls it up and bags it. See this?
Yeah.
You could actually have it, the herd coming out that. They swing those out and you have trucks travelling behind.
Collected one.
The seed comes like that.
Yeah.
So we could have the herd coming like that and dropping into a truck travelling behind, and you can actually have another one on the other side that would take the fibre out if you wanted to do that. But now we're talking, because of this new concept, we're talking about using the latest, greatest, most powerful equipment there is. And it's all our fingers just slipping home.
And every farm in England's got one because of government grants.
Yeah. Well, which one do we use?
Very good.
I would guess that probably they would say, well, let's use an old one to test it out
Yeah.
and build it up. We use a smaller and older one, and then we'll get into the big one
For next season.
right.
Well, they wanted them for the next season when they're doing hundreds of acres.
Yeah.
It's that thing.
That's a plough.
Oh, okay.
It's a light tiller.
And Lisa's restaurant and bar. Oh, we could have lunch there.
You want to? Won't be cheap.
No. Oh, it won't actually be all that dear.
Well, let's have a look.
Let's have a look and see.
We've just saved $1 million, you know that?
Hmm. It's the Mona Lisa.
I think the idea of grabbing something from the bakery or something as we're walking along is better.
So do I. Well, it's the John Deere one up there.
Yeah.
They seem to have them all over the place.
Well, it's very intensive farming here.
Yeah.
If that was a public company, when Robert was doing it, we could have him and held the stuff in the hand and just kept working it until I understood the relationships in the areas and kept writing them down. And then I said, build this. This is after we'd spent $40,000. Build it. Two little tortoises in here. It's going to sleep, I think.
Nice little walkway along here next to the train line in the town. That's Todd's, whatever Todd's is. Clothing, real estate, etc, etc. It's the town clock. And the church, one church or another. Big enough to have a polytechnic and the Methodist church and the Ashburton buy and sell something books. Let's cross the bridge when we come to it. So we're going up the bridge walkway. Cafe on East. It's a food store for a countdown, probably. It's interesting they're not dominated by the Australian ones. We're about to go across the Sydney Harbour Bridge. The coat hanger. Here's at the station.
Souvenirs, yeah. Do you want to go down again?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back down. We've been up, we've had a look. Yep, have a look this way. And War Memorial and everything else there. That's the station now. A heinous thing, a bus stop instead of the train stopping. It's not open and there's nothing in there. In Australia all the windows would be smashed. Oh, some of them are, but not much. Good fine station. Good fine station it was, and is.
Yep. I'm a little sensitive to the fact that we have less than 10 minutes to get all that way back.
Little New Zealand tracks. Steel sheds, not mine. Nice little creek, and that's Midland Seeds on the other side. Back there in a few minutes. Azuma selling the occasional combine harvester along with their cars and motorbikes. Print input devices on them, similar to the one down the other place. 34,000 for that. Nice and cheap. This one is 89,000, a New Holland one, a bit bigger. Massey Ferguson, 139,000. This little one, the Dominator 76, is 39,000. Wow. Not bad.
We can have a model of our thing to fit in the front of it.
Yep. Kia River.
And I said to this missionary guy that if I come back here again, I'd come back with more basic things like fish hooks.
Yeah.
And he could see my point. These people were on the side of the river. There was a motorbike made out, you know, the float ferries. I said a fairing for a motorbike made out of hip fibre.
Yeah. Yeah. Spending these huge amounts of money on these great big plants they've got, and now they can't run them for more than one shift a day. They're designed to run 3 shifts a day, and they cannot, because they're out in the boonies of England.
Oh, now entering Christchurch.
So it's and when you ring the Chinese, they say, yeah, they can't get it. They just need a bad season in one of their communes, and it's in they've got a cup, so the end of the roller sits in there, and then nothing can get in to wrap around inside. It's sophisticated little thing, these thread guards, but all it is otherwise you just don't hear it all the time. And fires. That's all in the drawings. I wish I could get my brother-in-law to do it, but he's working for his son now. His son.
Do you use the same engineer every time?
No, I've always wanted to get my brother-in-law Colin. My brother-in-law Robert once did some work for us. He is a qualified mechanical engineer in Leg One. Some of the rollers are banging together and we can't quite figure out what's wrong. My father-in-law, by the way, made the first one. He was 86 when he made it, the D6. And might have been even older than that. And it worked absolutely perfectly first time. Nothing was ever wrong with any of them. Yeah. And these other engineers, they were considered the best engineers in Heidelberg, the suburb. And they couldn't get it quite right, so they said, look, just since it's a demonstration thing and you want to mount it in a trailer, let's shorten it. And I was very reluctant to agree, but I did. I was running out of time and I knew that, so we shortened it. And when I ran it, it wouldn't work. Something wrong. Hamish had it in the field, and they're ringing me up saying it wouldn't work. And I can't understand why this is caramelising on the bottom two smooth rollers. And I sort of was half listening. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sat bolt upright and said, why are there two smooth rollers there? There should not be.
In Christchurch now. First thing next to our motel is the Indian restaurant, Argy Bargy, Indian with attitude. Now, what's this bike? Little scooter. Oh, the Argy Bargy bike for delivering Argy Bargy dinners. Unique opportunity, October 2006. 9 superior units. We're on this land here with all this traffic. That's Hagley Park, south. Heading across here. Over in North Hagley Park.
That knapsack's been around as long as
Yeah. Well into the park now. Oh, that's the croquet lawn over there, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, looks like the croquet lawn.
This was our first foreign walk.
It's the Maris. Let's catch this. We have some ducks down there.
100 years of women's suffering. They got it almost straight after South Australia.
This little bridge. All the ducks. Green-nosed ducks. be this way. Meant to be a rose. Entry to the rose garden. A very big tree. What sort of tree is it? Herb garden and herbaceous border. Everything mixed in together. Musician in the park. Nice. Well, MacDougall Art Gallery. Very interesting tree. It's from the bottom all the way up. With the college museum. Roger Duff wing. Shoots Botanic Gardens. Royal Botanics, just Botanics.
Now here, we came from where?
Riccarton Parkings. Riccarton
Here.
Avenue.
So we walked all the way across towards Garden. What's that? Yeah, so that's the way we've come.
Oh, okay. Yes, because we went round the rose garden. We didn't go through it. Yep. Going for that tram now. You'll note that the tram track is actually wider than the train track.
Yeah.
Because this is, 4 foot 8.5 being standard gauge. Well, we go back out into the cafe section. There's something to do with that.
Do you know where Selwyn Street is?
Selwyn Street. Selwyn Street.
Theatre. Canterbury's Live Theatre. Canterbury Tales. $25 for those. complaining they're letting their buildings go. That's true. Oh, that building is way up there. That might last 5 minutes in this tape, but that's okay. On Worcester Street, something very modern is here. Christchurch Art Gallery. Bongo, that's a nice place.
Right back in the days of Jim Davis, he said, "Oh, get some 4 minute 10 acts and see what that's going to get."
Melbourne tram for sure.
Those old wooden seats?
Yep.
Charlie designed those.
Did he?
And they put them in upside down.
Oh, really?
So the lumbar support was up here.
Typical. And you weatherboard because there's so much timber around.
Yeah.
And also because the place is subject to earthquakes.
With what?
Subject to earthquakes. This is the River Avon.
Cleaner than the Yarra.
Oh, undoubtedly. So tree. Beckoning. Looks like the Holy Grail to me, Adrian. Holy Grail is an Art Deco, and the Regent is a Regency. It's the Holy Grail, the home of the Crusaders. The square. Hello. The Melbourne tram. Thing.
Public work of art.
Oh look, they've got the nativity play out.
Do you know, a lot of councils were not going to do it. It's one thing I agree with Brax about. I thought there had to be something in the world that I would agree with him about.
Yes, I know. Warner's Hotel.
Feeling your record shop won't be open.
No, it won't be. It's open tomorrow. Might be. They do new things here. It's just the press building. No, doesn't look like a hotel.